Well, yesterday I started the next big phase of the Willet House restoration. It's already becoming a chore. It's only day 1.5. But it's the plumbing. The entire house needs to be plumbed, starting with sewer lines. So the sewer runs down the street and there's a manhole cover directly in the middle of our driveway, about 4 feet into what used to be Cherokee Street. And there's an extension from that comes down the center of the driveway that I've now teed into. I did it a long time ago. I don't mean teed into, I mean I've inserted my modern day 4-inch PVC into the 6-inch clay pipe that was there before. So I am PVC from about 8 feet beyond the gate, across the stone and round the corner over to the tail end that is sticking up out of the ground waiting for connection. So that's the end of the sewer line, and it's going to be a little awkward to get around and under the rain water pipe, but I'll handle that another day. I'll have to jog it over and go in further across the wall, I think. But that then hits a big Y and flows up towards the house there, and that is the end of the sewer line. So first thing I did was to dig down and expose the sewer pipe. The fitting at the end is loose. It was there just to stop it from backfilling with dirt. So I'm going to do this project in 2 halves, this end of the house and then the other end of the house. This end has 2 bathrooms, the other end has 4. And I will probably use 4-inch pipe at that end, and I'm using 3-inch at this end. So yesterday, to make life a little easier as a start, and because I had a bunch of fittings, I brought the main water line in. So currently the house has 1/2-inch copper. I'm digging that up and replacing it with 1-inch PEX. The maximum fitting size for the water meter under the driveway is only 3/4, but I have this 1-inch pipe and it'll reduce the line friction and provide greater flow up to where it tees. So I'll be pulling a 1-inch pipe through here, digging it up another day, a day when it's not raining and cold, because there's a lot of hand digging. I brought the 1-inch pipe across the basement to where I'm teeing off from it into 2 primary 3/4, one that is going to go to the other end of the house, and one that is servicing the downstairs bathroom and the upstairs bathroom at this end of the house. So I did those yesterday just to get something going, and then today I'm starting on blasting this hole, which is no fun, which is why I've stopped to do a little bit of a video. But this is the start of the plumbing, and I'll probably not show any of the work being done because it's a little boring, but I'll stop from time to time and show what's been done. So as with any house, this is where you start. You bring the cold water in and you bring the sewer in. So that's as far as I've got so far. I did measure, but even after measuring, I still feel rather lucky that I've come in the right place. Very thick wall. That wall is 24 inches thick. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bricks. 5 bricks in width. 2 bricks in length and a half a brick. Very big, very thick, very solid. Yet strangely, the house was built, the left-hand part of the house was built, and then the right-hand half of the house was built with nothing teeing in between the two at the footing level. There is up at the house level, but not down here at the footings. I've also been upstairs and cut where I believe the toilet and vent pipe need to go. Very lucky with the toilet. That's exactly where I want it to be, and it's alongside the gas line to the furnace and the one of the floor joists. So I'm at a slight angle there coming in, which I don't like, so I'm going to go get a 4-inch 22-degree fitting. That'll bring us nice and square into the house, and then I can start nice and square. It's the end of day 2 of plumbing, and the main sewer line is in. I gotta seal that hole up a bit better after that foam is set, and then bury it after the inspection. Inside is done. Up to the downstairs bathroom. So main 4-inch line comes in there with a clean out, and then 2 3-inch lines join. One of the 3-inch lines goes upstairs, one goes to just the toilet downstairs. So upstairs there is a hand basin and a toilet, and the hand basin here, for the sake of keeping it neat and tidy, is also going into that line, which is the one at the back. So 1.5-inch line here goes off to the ground floor hand basin, which is over here in the corner. That serves as the vent stack for everything. As far as vanity units, or plumbing units as some people call them, we've got on this side of the house 2 toilets, 1 shower, 2 hand basins. So that is 7 units, and a 3-inch pipe will handle up to 35 units. So a 3-inch pipe is plenty and correctly sized, and that is the Jonesboro train joining the conversation. So tomorrow, Saturday, I will run the hot and cold water, decide where the hot water tank is going to go, run the hot and cold up into that downstairs room, and I might hook up that toilet so it's functioning. Be nice to have 1 bathroom in the house. The only snag with that is that I have to figure out what to do with the water supply. I'd have to bring it up from 1/2 inch to the 1 inch, which seems a little pointless. It's wasting of fittings. So maybe I'll do the water supply to the house tomorrow. But that's day 2. Day 2 is plumbing is starting to look like a house. Here's the upstairs half of today's work. So washer hookup on the right hand side, dryer on the left. Washer waste is there, minus its P-trap, hot and cold water of course, and power in the corner. In the bathroom we've got waste and hot and cold for the corner sink, and we've got the toilet, cold water supply, and then the hot and cold running up to what will be a false ceiling to make the plumbing a lot easier upstairs, for the upstairs bathroom. You can see the nasty old plumbing. Yeah, I don't want to look at that. For the old bathtub, I got to smash that out before I can get on and start with that. So downstairs right hand side is roughed in. Next is another day. So this is the end of the 3rd day. This is 3 5-hour days, so 15 hours work. The trouble is I can't get more than 5 hours because I'm backwards and forwards to Lowe's. Plus I get here at 10 a.m. and I leave it typically at 4 o'clock, and then an hour for 2 trips to Lowe's. So the cold water comes into here. I had done that on day 2. The cold goes then over to the rest of the house over there from this one, and the cold branches off and services the upstairs, the downstairs toilet, And then over here for the downstairs lav and washing machine. And then over to the cold water supply for the hot water heater. I'm still in two minds whether we can get away with one hot water heater or not for this house. It may be too far to track hot water to the upstairs bathroom at the other end of the house. It'll be cold by the time it gets there. So I may have to do something, put a hot water heater in the attic, I think. But I've plumbed in the hot water as if one of them is going here. So hot water, of course, starts here. It's not plugged because it's hot water will stay dry till the heat is in, and then services the washing machine and the lav, and of course no hot water to the toilet. The hot water goes upstairs and then over to the other end of the house. So the water is done for the downstairs on the right hand side of the house. The waste is also done. So this is a 1.5 inch line that'll service more than 6 units, and I only have 3 units off this line. I'm transitioning down to 1.25 inches just to keep it less visible and easier to box in underneath the lav that's in the corner of the downstairs. So there's a 1.5 inch line that goes up to the P-trap for the washing machine, and then an 1.25 inch line that goes up to a much smaller P-trap that'll be under the sink. That 1.5 inch line joins what is the main vent stack. So this is vent for upstairs and of course waste for upstairs. It's the vent for the downstairs also. This is just one single downstairs toilet. They join together as a 3 and exit as a 4. In hindsight, I would have joined them separately into a short section of 4, but a 3 will service 35 units, and I only have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units in total on this side of the house. So 3 is plenty. It just feels wrong to connect 2 3s and then go from 1 3 into a 4. So in hindsight, I would have gone back to Lowe's again and got a 4. But I went with what I had, which is ample. So that is the end of day 3. So that's 15 hours in. Next, I have to smash apart the upstairs bathroom. I think I'll do a time lapse on that. It might be sort of interesting. And then get on with plumbing the upstairs on the right hand side of the house. So the upstairs bathroom is going to change quite a bit. I have some demo to do before I can start to plumb, and I'm kind of anxious to get the plumbing finished. So this has got to get torn out. It will be replaced with one hand basin, not where that is, and a toilet on that left hand side, no bathtub. And then behind me there will be a shower room, which will be, I feel, fairly big. No demo to be done in there, so I'll just clean up this. I think I'll start by taking this door off. That looks a lot better. Plenty of room for a toilet. That is 4.5 feet wide, 6 feet long. So room for a hand basin and toilet. I'm thinking the hand basin, though, has to go tucked in around this corner and has to be a really small one, which is okay. And then we've got a really big shower with a nice big glass shower door. So that's going to work nice. And one of the funniest things is, if ever you thought that the men in the good old days did a better job than the various trades do today, then floor joist, right, running across, cut right through it for the plumbing. Just absolute typical plumbers. It's what plumbers do the world over. They don't seem to give a darn. And it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So I need to figure out what to do about that. The good thing is I can brace it. I can just bolt a 4-foot long section in after I've removed the cast iron. And then, of course, place the toilets. The strange thing is that they would do that to a floor joist that they know is on 2-foot centers and directly where the cast iron 400-pound tub with its 150 gallons of water would be sitting. It's amazing. So you'd have a 700-pound or greater item sitting here, because of course the person has to get in with the water as well. Surprising, but anyway, this day is finished. This you could call as day 4, albeit it's only half a day, because I have to get going and go do something at home for the rest of the afternoon. All right, this is the start of day 5. I'm at hour 18. Yes, I'm tracking the number of hours because I'm interested to see what my total cost in material and time is compared to the plumber's quotes of $4,000 for the half bath and $6,000 for the full baths. There wasn't much of a discovery, a couple of interesting things. But I do believe the sink tucked around that corner will work. It's not a very big sink, but this is only like a master suite to a short-term rental, so no great expectation for a larger sink. But we could go for a wider double sink or single or larger single sink, as long as it does not stick out any further. So at least that proves to me that I need the waste and water over there in that corner. I'm going to bias the toilet over to this right hand side to gain more space and to make it feel like you're not walking around the sink to get to the toilet. I think that's the right thing to do. Put it up against that end wall. I could turn it to the left. There's no reason to do that, so I don't think I will. I'm going to put it as close to the vent stack as I can. The only snag with this sink being as far away as that is it's close to the 6-foot limit that requires a vent. So I need to measure that. That might determine exactly where it has to go, because I do not want to be more than 6 feet away. And it's 6 feet of pipe. So if I come across this way, it's 4 feet, and across that way, it's going to be more like 7.5. So I may have to drill a large hole through the middle of this joist and pop my waistline through it, so I can keep this to 6. Anyway, I know this will work, so now on to the next phase, which is replace these boards if I have boards, or go down to Lowe's and go get a sheet of plywood. It's day 5, and I'm not going to count the demolition and the physical reconstruction of yesterday. So the hour count on this plumbing is now at 19 hours as I start the day. But I also did some research last night because I was fascinated by something. When I pulled the bathtub out, the original plastering of the house follows the outline of the bathtub, which was curious to me because I did not think there was inside plumbing in 1830. So I did some research, and of course the original toilet was patented in 1775, and many other patents for more modern toilets was 1800s. And there was a hotel in Boston that had inside bathrooms installed in 1829, apparently, according to Google. So this house was built in the 1830s. There's a reference to it in 1840 in the sale of a piece of land where the brick house that already existed was a part of the sale. So we know the house was built before 1842. So other town records show the house was built in 1830 something. So assuming it was tail end of the 30s, then this must have been one of the very early houses to have inside plumbing. When it was bricked, the wooden support blocks for the baseboards were inserted in the brick. There are no nail holes in them, so baseboard was never fitted in this part of the room. So my assumption of them being removed and the bathroom being redone at the time of the big fire in 1876 is wrong. This is a lath and plastered room with a drop ceiling that was built at some point in time, but clearly was built as part of the original build, which was a big surprise. So 1830 something, and inside plumbing. Not necessarily with the fixtures that I tore out, except for the tub, because the ghost line around the tub that the plaster has made was an exact fit to the tub. So the tub was an original. It's a shame it was so incredibly heavy and impossible to get out, but I did get one of the other tubs out that's in the basement, but this tub I had to smash up and remove. So today is not about history anymore, it's about getting on with the job. So I've got to get on with this and see what I can get fixed. I'd like to brick up that wall before I go too far, but honestly I just need the plumbing done, so I'm going to board up to that and then brick down below the boards. Just makes the bricking a little bit more difficult. There you go. Upstairs bathroom, upstairs lav and toilet are done. Shower's behind me, it's not done, but that works. Plenty of room for the toilet, plenty of room for a larger sink if we want to, or a cabinet instead of shelves here at the side. Brick that hole up, put the vent stack in, and put the shower tray in over there. I think I'll go fetch that, make sure that fits, and then go finish the plumbing for what I've done here underneath. Okay, so into the new bathroom. You take a right-hand turn, glass shower door, tiled room. Drop the ceiling down substantially because right now it's 10 feet. And drop that down so it's nice and toasty in here. Extraction fan. A 3x3 shower, but with no door on the front, so it'll feel a lot bigger. I'll put a wet wall there to hide the plumbing. Probably have 2 shower heads. And then behind me is a hand basin and toilet. Loads of room, looks nice. And shelves here to the left of the lav, I think. So now downstairs to finish off the plumbing and put the vent pipe up there in the corner. I have to be a little inventive here, I think. So the waistline for the above toilet, and of course the vent stack for the below toilet is here in this corner. It has to jog over a little, so I can do that with 245s. But then the lav drain has to join it, and the shower drain has to join it, and this toilet has to join it. So it's going to be a complicated group of things, and let's hope they work. They should. There's always a way to do it. It's 3:30 and it's going home time. So I got the waist all done and tied up nice and tight. The vent stack, of course, is all nice and tight. I have a 1.5 inch coupling up there waiting for the drain to come over from the shower. And got to hook the water lines up. So I'd say 2 more hours work and the plumbing on this side of the house is done. We are currently at, this was 5 hours today, so we're currently at 19 plus 5, which is 24 hours, and still on the original $1,000 worth of material. So this is what I'm calling almost the end of phase 1. Got to do the shower tomorrow. Once the shower's done, that's phase 1 complete. Well, this is day 6, and I'm in the final stretches. The shower is now done. I'll show most of it from underneath, but there's a vent that runs up here to the right-hand side because the shower is way more than 6 feet from the stack, the vent stack over there in the corner. That's the top pipe. The lower pipe with its trap is, of course, the waste for the shower. And then hot and cold that run up a wet wall when I get round to fitting the valve. Alright, that'll leave a nice 1.5 inch gap around the outside to provide some insulation from the cold stone. I like that. So yep, I think this shower room is what is good. I'll tile the whole thing. I'll put a drop ceiling in. We don't need a 10-foot ceiling for a shower. Well, today I have connected in the shower, which is that 1.5 inch drain that comes over from the right, along with hooked up the hot and cold water that runs to the shower, but also over to the lav and over to the toilet. So that's completely finished in there. I have to go surface over here and then box it in afterwards, which will look fine because we have woodwork around there. And then up above the closet can have a little trap door left open for the clean out and for the building inspector to take a look. But everything's in total. That was six days in duration. It's been 5 hours today, 19 hours up until today. That's 24 hours in total. I'm still at my 1,000 in parts. Got quite a few PEX fittings over, but of course I need all those for the second phase. So I'm at $1,000 and 24 hours. And that is one full bath with quite a bit of demolition and restructuring, and then a half bath. So that would have been $10,000 for a week's work for a plumber. I'm sure he would have had a helper. They would have got it done in 5 days, not 6. So 1 week's work, $10,000, $1,000 in parts, which they would have got cheaper wholesale. So if I call that $9,000, divide by 25 hours, holy moly, that is good work if you can get it. So first phase is done. I've brought the hot and cold water 2 3/4 lines through to what I'm calling this side of the house. It's not really a side, but it's I'm approaching it in 2 projects. And so the hot and cold water is there under the window in the crawl space. I have to plumb and vent the sink. I was going to bring the vent up this corner, but now I've changed my mind and I'm actually going to vent it above the waste pipe. So drop the waste pipe down just a little bit lower and bring the vent pipe all the way over with it to join the main vent that's going to go up for that half bath that's over there. So on this side I have 2 half baths, one above the other, and then 2 full baths. So there's quite a bit more work on this side. There's also a lot of work to get out in that corner of the building under the crawl space. It's not going to be fun, but that's another day. So part 1 of the plumbing project is complete.